Hey everybody, this is Black Gray White, the loser with a dream, and for today, just for today anyways, you can see that it's the start of a new season. A lot of people are getting their hands dirty, getting started in battles. As for me, I think right now would be a good opportunity to just kind of look at my progress I've made so far, maybe take the time to look over some of my mistakes. And with that, I'm going to kick this off just by kind of checking my ranking from the last one. I'm tempted to battle a little bit, but unfortunately I don't have a team built yet. I like taking my time that way, but let's see. 90, and this is how I rank this season. 95,680, and compare that to the last one. I have it saved in my captures. Look at that! That's a huge improvement. So yeah, something to be proud of. I want to make a note of that. Yeah. So I guess, hopefully the goal for next season, of course, is to hopefully do higher than that. Yeah, if I remember correctly... Check battle data? Okay. Oh, okay. That's cool to look at. That's right there, but... I think in this season in particular, I was practicing with 3 teams. So I might just take a look at some of the reruns from some of the videos that I did focusing on those teams in particular. The first, if you remember, being that team with the Whimsicott and the Typhlosion. I started going through a bunch of my videos, specifically for the ones that focus a lot on one specific team at a time. That way I can get a better sense of some of the misplays that I made, things I noticed about how other people reacted when they found out they were playing against me. One of the things I noticed, weirdly, I'm a little upset that I didn't notice this until like after the fact, but I just noticed that in a lot of matches, leads specifically with Glimmora and with Kingambit were kind of giving me a hard time. And of course, I didn't start to pick up on this up until I started just kind of thinking and looking through a lot of those matches. And yeah, and for good reason. I mean, if I'm expecting Typhlosion to be a big carry, you know, Glimmora walls Typhlosion pretty well and can get a KO after it moves, and of course Kingambit offers Sucker Punch pressure, which can put me in a really weird position if I don't leave this arena, of course. And so just like mentally going into a lot of these matches, I wasn't just prepared for those kinds of leads. Let's take a look at maybe take a look at some of the notes that I wrote for some of these battles. If you'd like to reference what matches I'm talking about, I think this one would be specifically climbing the Ultra Ball tier, number 6. I'm paying a little bit more attention to the losses. I wish I could have time to go through each and every single one of these battles, but unfortunately I don't. I gotta go to bed tonight. But if you're paying attention to the first match of number 6, let's see. Let's take a look at that. Unfortunately, I can't share this screen. I don't have a capture card that captures desktop input, but I had ended up leading Whimsicott and Dragapult. And I think like if I had the opportunity to run this through again, maybe I would lead Tauros and Typhlosion. Right now, Tauros is a big help when it comes to Glimmora leads, and also offers a lot of pressure into Kingambit leads as well. Yes, there's a chance. Yes, it's probably gonna proc the Defiant boost, unfortunately, but given that Tauros resists pretty much all of its attacks and it's faster, I wouldn't consider that a major threat, just in that there's a good chance that I'll get the KO. So that's a risk that I'm willing to take moving forward if I ever have, say, Water Tauros on my team again. I think in this case, I realized, just looking over it again, I realized there was no need for me to Tailwind, so I think maybe that was something that I didn't have to worry about so much. And as soon as they saw Typhlosion in the middle of that match, they realized that they had a lot of pressure with the Kingambit, which is what really set me back. And there were also some turns where I probably should have anticipated the Protect on the Kingambit as well. This is more of a thing that you kind of get the sense of just the more that you play. Just, you kind of realize, like, when you've got one of the Mons on the opposite side kind of pinned, you can kind of start to anticipate those Protects. But that was carelessness on my part, and moving forward, I think I will try to do a better job of assessing what might be, I guess, pin situations, and try to do a better job of anticipating those Protects. I'm not going to get it right every time, obviously, but, and the other thing I didn't realize until later in the season, I do have to be careful when it comes to running Floette on Kingambit teams, because a lot more of them are starting to run Iron Head, and they can are most likely able to one-shot said Floette, unless I take the opportunity and get the KO on the Kingambit first. And then in the end game, when it was just Wave Crash and, sorry, not Wave Crash, it was Pelipper and Glimmora in that game. I was just in a place where I could not get enough damage off into both Mons. Of course, Glimmora was pinned, so I could pretty much tell that it was going to go for the Spiky Shield, but Pelipper was healthy enough to survive any damage that I had with just that Tauros, and able to KO me with Hurricane on the next turn. I think maybe one thing I could have done was maybe tried to stall out the Tailwind or something. But even so, I guess, or maybe at the very least, you know what? No. There's no way I could have won the Pelipper. It can just hit me with Hurricane whenever it wants to. So, but just being in a better position where I could have maybe preserved my Mons, maybe could have put me in a better spot to be in a maybe winnable position in that game. Let's see. Same video, match number 3. Let's see, what did I lead here? Yeah, looks like I led Tauros and Floette for this one. And this was a Trick Room team with, or at least what looks like a Trick Room team, with Mega Camerupt, either that or Mega Scizor. Yeah, I'm not sure why I led Dragapult into that. Or, no, not led, but... Yeah, honestly, Dragapult wasn't all that... Yeah, maybe Dragapult wasn't that great either into this match. But I guess I should have known better when it came to Mega Fluff or either one of these Megas on my opponent's side. Especially the Scizor. Just a lot of pressure with the Bullet Punch. I'm just in a really bad situation. Or at least not without Intimidate, that is. Let's see. Yeah, this was an example where I started off making the good plays, but, maybe perhaps if I had made some better pivots, like immediately seeing that Scizor on the board, I definitely either should have swapped in the Tauros or protect the Floette, just because, well, I don't know, I'm seeing one board state where there's Scizor and Basculegion and Tauros and Floette on the board. Trying to get a sense of maybe what I would do if I were in their position. I think maybe I would Last Respects the Tauros and Bullet Punch the Floette. And in the back, if I remember correctly, I had brought Typhlosion, and I had brought Dragapult, yeah. I don't know why I brought Dragapult. It's not really doing that much. Unfortunately, without Choice Band or without Terra, it's just not doing a huge amount of damage unless you're running Poltergeist. But its signature move just isn't really doing it for me. And of course, it's a bad idea to bring Sucker Punch in against a match that potentially has Feraligatr out with the Armor Tail. So honestly, it was just a waste bringing that. Yeah, if I would be able to swap again, then I don't know if Serena would be any better, but well, actually maybe Wims, because being able to survive stuff with the Sash might come in handy. But yeah, you could see that the Dragapult swap onto the Last Respects was a really bad play. But of course, this probably could have been avoided if maybe I hadn't brought it. Maybe brought something else, like say that Whimsicott, like I mentioned. And then the next turn, bringing in Tauros would have been really good, or at least put me in a less bad spot. I'm trying to think. In order to win that one, I think I would have to be in a spot where I could survive a Bullet Punch, get the KO with the Floette on the Basculin Legion, then swap into Typhlosion and get the KO on the Scizor. I think maybe that could have been doable with good pivoting, but alright, and I'm trying to keep this awake. On the fourth match of this video, this is a team with Gallade, Talonflame, Garchomp, Meowscarada, Basculin Legion, and Venusaur. I think the major problem was just that I wasn't aware of what Mega Venusaur's ability was. If I had known that Thick Fat, I think this would have changed my approach to this battle. Because I was definitely just wasting my time trying to chuck as much damage with both, with Typhlosion and with Ice Spinner, which honestly not the best Pokemon to lead into a Venusaur anyways. Don't know what my logic was trying to be. If I had to play that again, I think I would try and lead with Whimsicott and Dragapulse. Maybe with Tauros and Typhlosion in the back. Let's see. Right away they were able to get the KO on Serena, which wasn't great. And then swapping it again into a fire type didn't help me at all, of course. I don't know why I brought the Floette to a Mega Venusaur match, but I guess I was thinking maybe it was going to be Mega Gallade. But if I had to play the skin, I think I would leave out the Floette. Another thing is just like knowing when and when not to bring your Mega. I think I expect my Floette to be a big carry in a lot of these matches, but there are just some situations, like say when you're up against a Mega Venusaur, where it's just not getting the damage you need to, and honestly putting it more of itself in danger more than anything else. So I think with time, just like being able to play a lot of these matches, I've just been doing a little bit better at trying to get that, understand that, recognize that. Let's see. Let's see. Let's move on to the next match. This was the team with the Kingambit, Dragonite, Sneasler, Garchomp, the Charizard, and Basculin Legion. So it was one of two Megas, either Charizard or Dragonite. I if I had to lead this one again, I think I would go Typhlosion and Tauros. I think in this one, I went Wims and Serena. I think I was focusing just a little bit too much on the Garchomp, but probably forgetting that they were, if anything, they'd probably lead the Sneasler, and so with that, that would put both the Wims and the Serena spot in a very vulnerable situation by that Sneasler. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, I don't really think when it comes to fake out pressure, I don't really need to bring the Serena if I have a ghost type, like say Typhlosion. Actually, oops. Oh wait, this is wrong match. Sorry, I was referring to the wrong match. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know why I went triple Axel into the Sneasler. Honestly, I should have just followed my instinct and just full sent it into the Garchomp. That would have just been a KO. I mean, sure, I still would have lost the Serena, but at least I would have taken another Pokemon on their side too. Which honestly gets me a little bit more momentum. I also noticed that in a lot of these matches, I had a tendency to get stuck in my head. I'm not exactly playing on a Master Ball or Champion tier level yet, and so I find myself in situations where I'm kind of just thinking on that level, but not realizing that my opponent isn't on that level, and I think that kind of gets in my way at some points. If I can help it, I'd like to try maybe stop overthinking too much. Just try and make a play for them at as much momentum as I possibly can moving forward. Same thing when they sent out King Gambit. I should have just full sent into King Gambit with Moonblast. This way I wouldn't have to worry about Sucker Punch on the Typhlosion in this match, but the next one, I think the last match, another Trick Room team with Mega Camerupt. This is what I was referring to. I definitely saw that being a Mold Breaker fake out Tinkaton, and then leading with that. Typhlosion would have been really good, and of course you don't really need Serena in the lead when you've got a Ghost type. I should have full sent it with Heat Wave. Maybe I couldn't have gotten that KO onto Farigiraf. Well, it depends on who I led. If I led Tauros, maybe I could have if it wasn't Citrus Berry, and then just being in a good spot in the back. Since they don't have Sun, Tauros offers a lot of pressure into that Camerupt too. But yeah, I would have had a lot easier of a time. The moment they got that Trick Room set up, I should have swapped out the Typhlosion. It was pinned by that Camerupt, and it was the slowest thing on the board. It just would have been so much better for me to just pivot it out as soon as the Trick Room went up. Especially since I was stuck with using Eruption. I did not realize how little it does. It's not doing nearly the amount of damage you need to do without Sun, and especially without Terastallization, unfortunately. Which is not available just yet, but, let's see. Yeah, and for the most part, Serena was pretty much useless in that fight, and that's why my opponent was pretty much just able to ignore it for the entire match. It was also pretty careless of me to use Aqua Jet, knowing that they had Ferrig in the back. I wish that I had gotten the chance to get the KO when I got the chance, but that's something I'll try and keep in mind for next time I do. Let's see. Let's see if I can find a different team that I practice with. Alright, and this was with the Mega Charizard, Mega Floette team. If you don't remember, the Mega Charizard, Y, Sinistcha, Venusaur, Choice Scarf, Garchomp, Floette, and Incineroar. And this is Climbing the Ultra Ball Tier Part 9, for those who would like to check out the videos later. Let's see. Looking at the first match, which is one that I lost. We've got a... let's see, we've got a... Charizard, Typhlosion, Sneasler, Gengar, Venusaur, and Garchomp. I think the major thing was just that I was scared this was a, I guess, Perish Trap team with Gengar. But regardless, Garchomp and Incineroar would have been a really, really great lead. The only downside of this would be that I'd probably proc the Sneasler Unburden with White Herb. But the idea is just to immediately just swap into the, what's it called, Charizard, and just go straight for Earthquake. Yeah, that would have probably KO'd, maybe KO'd the Sneasler, depending on how it was built, and gotten the Gengar really low. And additionally, I would have been able to hold on to Fake Out Pressure for later. Because another mistake that I've made in a lot of these matches is just making the mistake of letting Sneasler just KO my Incin. Like, I think a lot of matches would have turned out a lot better if I had done a better job of preserving Incin from Sneasler KOs, but, let's see. And later on in the match, let's see. After swapping to Charizard, I should have swapped Garchomp and maybe tried to get the KO on the Gengar with a Weather Ball or something like that. I know I don't want to lose the Garchomp, and I definitely needed to reset to get Rock Slide in case they had that Charizard in the back as well. Yeah, because like I just taken too many Icy Winds, and on that last turn with Charizard and Venusaur, since they had gotten off all those Icy Winds, they outsped me with both that Charizard and with the Typhlosion. So yeah, I think things would have looked a lot differently if I had just saved that Incineroar. Because one, there's a better chance I probably would have had another Mon alongside with it, and Incineroar does resist a lot of both of those Mon's attacks. Trying to think of what they might do. I think with Fake Out Pressure, they might be more likely to protect the Charizard, and that would leave me in a good spot to potentially maybe Throat Chop the Typhlosion and put me in a better spot. Let's see. Continuing on. Just waiting for it to stop buffering. Match number 4 was an interesting one. This was actually my first experience battling against a Mr. Rime. I did not know that it has Fake Out. And I'm not really sure what the tech was for this team. I'm not sure if I'll ever know, but yeah, if I had to play this again, I'd probably lead Charizard and Venusaur. Sure, they have Fake Out Pressure, but only onto one, and that would give me a good opportunity to maybe try and get a Sleep Powder or an Earth Power into the Sneasler. And then the following turn, there's a good chance that I offer offensive pressure onto the Mr. Rime. Let's see. Yeah, because I proc the White Herb, that with the Incineroar, Intimidate, which also, again, was another instance of me not preserving my Incineroar. I had forgotten that the Sneasler was faster than me, and so I think that I was thinking that I swapped the Incineroar, Fake Out the Mr. Rime, and then maybe just get the Stomping Tantrum off into the Sneasler, but since I'd forgotten that I proc the Unburden, unfortunately, ended up losing a Pokemon for no reason. that and just my general carelessness. And with the mons that I brought, both the Garchomp and the Sinistcha, like they were both just ended up being pinned by the Mr. Rime in the end. So yeah, I think just part of it was making sure to pick the right Pokemon, but the other just getting more experience with mons that I've never battled against before. Definitely something that I'll remember for next time, but I'm trying not to take that one too hard. Match number 6. This was the one with the Mega Feraligatr. Right off the riff, I should have recognized that Klefki was probably Rain Dance. I think I would have definitely picked a lot different mons knowing that this was Rain Dance. This is definitely a Floette battle. And of course I was careless in leading that Charizard and letting it get KO'd right away. I'm not sure if that Basculin was Swift Swim or Adaptability, but honestly, just losing that Charizard right away put me in a really bad position. Although the difference between my weather control and theirs is that they can just pretty much just keep clicking it over and over again with the left key, unfortunately. I made the really weird play of swapping Incin in when it was raining, and when there was a water type on the board. Definitely gotta think about that kind of stuff moving forward. It was also a mistake to split the damage between the Klefki and the Basculegion. I saw that it was an offensive threat, especially in the rain. I need to make a priority of getting rid of sweepers as soon as possible and not splitting damage. And I also noticed that they read a lot of the swaps that I was going to make as well. I guess that's good. That's props to them. Good props to them. And looking at this, I think the Venusaur was pretty much the win con. I needed to make a more priority of keeping it alive and mitigating damage on it. And of course, when the rain stops and their Incin is on the board, I need to make sure to protect it. But yeah, I think the biggest takeaway, I think, for me personally, is just, if I had brought Floette, this battle would have looked a whole lot different. There's a chance that maybe I would have had to worry about maybe Steel Beam from the Klefki. But for the most part, aside from the Charizard, many of my other Mon picks were right. Or at least I think so. Yeah. Continuing on, match number 7. And this was the Trick Room team with the Empoleon, Drampa, Golurk, Oranguru, Como, and Torkoal. Definitely a Trick Room team. This was a tricky one. I had a hard time figuring out what to lead just because I think the thing that scared me most was that Empoleon, which of course pins both my Megas. But ultimately I would have gone with Charizard and Garchomp if I had to run that through again, just because having the sun mitigates that water damage. And I'm able to put a lot of offensive pressure onto that Oranguru. Oranguru has really good special defense, so it'd be good to have that physical offense as well. I think Earthquake into Weather Ball and the Oranguru would have been really good. Yeah, Calm Mind, going Calm Mind with the Floette in front of the Oranguru probably wasn't the best idea, because even if they do get Trick Room up, they can just hit me over and over since the Oranguru has Instruct. And on that turn when I put the Oranguru to sleep, ultimately, I think what I should have done, I did target correctly with the Moonblast and the Earth Power, but instead of Earth Power, I probably should have gone Sludge Bomb. There is a chance, like maybe if I got in crit, maybe that would have ended up with 0 damage in the Empoleon, but I needed to make it a priority to knock out that Oranguru, because as soon as they got that Trick Room up, that just put me in a really bad spot. Yeah, I should have prioritized KOing that Oranguru. And I also didn't have the best ones for endgame. Yeah, I had it Intimidate for the Golurk, but that Como just being able to Scale Shot and outspeed me for the when Trick Room ended. And being able to just clanging scales both of them once repeatedly. Yeah, I think I would have gone Mega on the Charizard, but still kept the regular Eternal Floette in the back just to handle that Como. I think that would have been really helpful. And the last team of the season, if you remember, let's see. I believe that was the team with the Mega Lopunny and the Choice Scarf Vanilluxe. I actually had a lot of fun with that, honestly. The only frustrating thing is just that it doesn't have a huge amount of speed control aside from that Icy Wind. But going to the second match, let's see. The match with Umbreon, Milotic, Charizard, Whimsicott, their Lopunny, and Garchomp. If I had to play this one again, well, actually, in general with this team, I think the important thing just to remember is just to do a better job of preserving my weather control. I think a lot of my opponents recognize, like, if they could just get rid of the Vanilluxe right away, they can just go for whatever weather that it is they want. Not have to worry about blizzards or whatever. I noticed that a lot of teams would lead with something like Sneasler or maybe Aerodactyl. And once they were able to get rid of the Vanilluxe right off the riff, I think my problem is that I got careless with the speed. I thought, oh, this Vanilluxe is faster than they don't realize it. I can just get the KO and just like kind of underestimating their defenses. I think that just kind of put me in a bad spot. But for that match number 2, I think maybe I would like to lead the Lopunny and the Vanilluxe. Maybe go for an endgame Garchomp and Vascular Legion. It's hard to say, very hard to say. I think right from that first turn I probably should have, like, they were able to correctly get the fake out into the Vanilluxe. I'm not sure maybe if they knew the Vanilluxe's Choice Scarf and didn't have Protect, but it would have been a better idea to pivot Garchomp into that slot and maybe protect the Lopunny instead. And then when they did that double pivot, I don't know why I was so reluctant to get the KO on try and get as much damage off into that Milotic. The Protect on the Umbreon was pretty obvious, just since I had so much Fence Suppressor, and it would have been so much better just to get as much damage off onto that Milotic as possible, especially since it has Pressure of Hypnosis and Skull, which ultimately ended up being the reason that I forfeited, because they did get a burn on me. But yeah, using Triple Axle just didn't get me the momentum that I needed. I'm kind of wondering why I did that, looking back. Yeah, there were just so many turns where I could have close combated into the right spot, whether into the Milotic or whether into the Umbreon. I guess I was worried that they were going to pivot into the Charizard, which again is just my overthinking getting the better of me. But just a lot of opportunities in that match where I just was not working hard to get the momentum that I needed in that game. And ultimately, they were just able to stall out until they were able to get a burn and whatnot. So, and match number 5. Let's see. Yeah, in hindsight, looking at this team, Whimsicott, Garchomp, Dragonite, Sneasler, Typhlosion, and King Gambit, honestly, I didn't really need Vanilluxe. Looking back, I don't really know why I led that. I think if I had play this again, I'd probably lead Kingambit and Garchomp with Lopunny and Aegislash in the back. Let's see, what did they lead? Yeah, they ended up leading Typhlosion and Sneasler and Garchomp. Both Garchomp and Kingambit would have been so good here. I think there was a chance they'd probably swap out the Typhlosion, try to get the KO onto the Kingambit, but I would... Yeah, I could protect and still get off a lot of damage with an Earthquake or something. Let's see. Yeah, not to mention that, of course, they realized that they KO'd the Vanilluxe. The game is sealed. So they just KO the Vanilluxe right away. And if I had the Lopunny then game, I probably wouldn't have had to worry about dragons, but unfortunately, I did not. And it was a really stupid mistake for me to self-Earthquake myself. This is one of those times where I kind of wish that I'd had Stomping Tantrum instead of Earthquake. But yeah, they were just able to get good KOs into both my Vanilluxe and my Lopunny, putting me in a really bad spot. And with the ending board state, I think maybe a better play I should have made was maybe to Sucker Punch, get rid of the Multiscale and the Mega Dragonite, and Dragon Claw into it. See if maybe I outsped it. And then since the current Kingambit was probably going to try and Sucker Punch to get rid of the Garchomp, maybe just keep protecting this to PP stall out the Sucker Punch. And then maybe see if I can chip get enough chip onto the Kingambit. Where hopefully, if I'm able to successfully stall out Sucker Punch, being able to just get Earthquake and then finish it off, but yeah, again, I wish I had time to go every single one of these matches, but as you've been watching, I make a lot of misplays, I miss up a lot of games, and unfortunately, it is getting late, and I need to go to bed. So, with that, I think I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for following me, and for supporting me. I'm really excited, looking forward to this upcoming season. It's going to be a short one, but I'm going to try my best to do as well as I can, get as far as I can. Learn from a lot of the mistakes that I've made this past season, and continue improving from there. I'm working on a new team that I want to use this season, this new Regulation. There are lots of new Megas available, and I'm looking to try out some new Mons, so looking forward to that. And I hope you all look forward to that too. But with that, I'm going to wish you all good night, and I will catch you next time. Later, losers.